Hello students, today we will discuss a very topical story by A.R. Burton named Going Places. The chief character of the story, Sophie, is around your age, and some of you may connect to the huge aspirations that she has for her future. In less than a year, you will pass your board exams and choose a subject or a stream which will eventually help you earn a living. For many, the choice of pursuing a particular stream or picking an honors or major depends on practical constraints and factors. Very few of us get to follow our passions. However, if you listen to your hearts, what would you like to take up in college? Think about this and discuss it with your friends as you study Burton's Going Places. You may be surprised by the desires and aspirations of your peers. Let us now learn a little bit about our author and then start with the story. A.R. Burton lives in Zurich, Switzerland. The themes and style of her writing is modern and she deals with the problems of adolescence in her stories. Going Places also explores similar themes. We will now begin with the story. Right at the start, we find two young girls, Sophie and her friend Jancy, holding hands and walking back from school. They seem to be fast friends, but soon their dialogue reveals that they are very unlike each other. Sophie wishes to open a boutique once she leaves school, but Jancy reminds her that it takes time to save the money needed to start a boutique. Sophie is not ready to give up her dreams that easily. She decides to work as a manager at a boutique till she has the money to open a store. She also contemplates becoming an actress, knowing that it pays well. Perhaps a temporary profession or a job will help her become rich quickly and give her the money to start her business. Jancy knows that both she and Sophie come from a working class background and they do not have the luxury to follow their passions. They must avail opportunities which will help them earn a living and support their families. She is aware of the sad reality that they will both probably end up working at the biscuit factory. It saddens her heart when she hears Sophie talking of far-fetched dreams. Sophie, however, wishes to follow a more sophisticated and glamorous career path. She wants to rise above the conditions she has been born in and become an actress or a fashion designer. Like Jancy, Sophie's father also scorns her lofty dreams and reminds her of her duties towards her family. If she ever makes enough money to open a boutique, she should devote that money towards buying a house for her family, according to him. Even her little brother, Derek, mocks her ambitions. The author, next, gives us a closer view of the conditions in which Sophie's family live through the eyes of Sophie. Sophie hears her mother sigh and notices her back bent over the sink. It has become crooked through years of back-breaking housework. The delicate bow of her apron strings seems a mismatch with the dirty and menial work she does to run the household. We gradually understand from the way she pities her mother and is moved by her situation why she is so eager to escape her fate. She does not want her future to resemble her mother's. She would prefer being an actress or having a more sophisticated profession, in contrast to what she has seen her mother grow accustomed to. Overwhelmed by the direness of their condition, she goes to her brother Geoff. Geoff is a boy of very few words who has left school 3 years ago and is working as an apprentice or trainee mechanic on the other side of the city. Most of the time, he is absent-minded and very quiet. Her feelings towards Geoff is of part jealousy and part admiration. His reserved nature is a complete contrast to Sophie's, and it makes her jealous of him. She also wishes to meet the people he has met and visit the places he has gone to. She fancies the rich and exotic life he leads away from their household and wishes that he would make her a part of it. However, Geoff's life as a mechanic could have hardly afforded him the fantasies Sophie attributes to him, as the readers gradually understand. Sophie likes to imagine things not only in her own life, but in others' lives as well. Like many young and enthusiastic teenagers, Sophie has an adventure-loving spirit and she dreams of gathering new experiences and having an offbeat career. She has a strong drive to be different and has faith in her ability to adapt to new circumstances. Sophie's imagination is fanciful and colorful, and her dreams are always grand. She pictures herself riding behind Geoff as the crowd gives them a standing ovation. Geoff is dressed in new shining black leathers and Sophie is wearing a yellow dress with a cape which flies behind her. Sophie strongly seeks recognition and fame, and her dreams often sound ridiculous as a result. However, she belongs to a social and economic class which has always labored hard and remained invisible. Good clothes and a grand life have been off their limits for generations. So, it is admirable that she wishes to rise above her conditions. Sophie wants Geoff's attention and so tells him that she has met Danny Casey, the famous Irish footballer. Geoff has a keen interest in sports and he wants to believe his sister's story, but he also knows that she is a hopeless dreamer. Sophie gives him a dramatic description of her meeting with Danny Casey. She was looking at the clothes in a shop window in the arcade. On turning around, she had seen Danny Casey standing behind her. She supplies Geoff with details of his physical appearance to make her story sound more believable. Danny apparently has green and gentle eyes and he's not as tall as the public imagines him to be. Geoff is excited about Sophie's meeting with Danny Casey and reports it to her father. Sophie had not wished her father to know about their meeting and she wriggles in uneasiness. Her father and Geoff have a mild argument about Casey, which shows that both of them are sports enthusiasts. Her father says that Danny can achieve a lot if he does not let fame get to his head or becomes defocused. Geoff is a die-hard fan of Danny and refuses to find faults with him. He thinks that Casey's genius is unquestionable. At the end of their discussion, Sophie and Geoff's father completely disbelieves Sophie's story of meeting Casey as a lie. He warns her that she will get into trouble if she does not change her habit of tale-telling. This tells us that her entire family is aware of her habit of making up stories as she goes along. Do you really think Sophie is lying about meeting Danny Casey? What do you think about Sophie's compulsive lying? Sophie certainly does not find it wrong to narrate make-believe stories. She is so lost in her world of dreams that she loses her ability to distinguish between fact and fiction. She lets her fictional stories rule her life in order to escape the monotony of her life. We will continue with this story in our next video and find out the outcome of Sophie's wild fantasies. See you soon.